Hello, and welcome to a very special pilot episode of Sparkle Pod Book Club, a brand new little branch of the Move It Mama podcast. If you know us, you know we're all about finding ways to help us feel good through exercise, connection, community, and carving out little pockets of joy in the everyday. And for so many of us, reading is one of those pockets of joy. So we thought, why not bring that into the podcast too? This is the beginning of a casual, cozy, no-pressure book club where we can chat about the books we're reading, the stories we're loving, the characters we can't stop thinking about, and all the feelings that come with getting lost in a really good book. And obviously, we're not doing it alone. Joining us is Sarah Hobbsy, Move It Mama trainer and chief book lover extraordinaire, the perfect person to dive into these conversations with. Together, we'll be unpacking books we've read, books we're currently reading, and probably plenty of side tangents along the way. Largely thanks to my taste for smut. So whether you've read the book and are ready to dissect it with us, or you're just here while you clean your loos, we're happy you're here. Let's get into it. There is no friend as loyal as a book. Very good.
Very
like
good.
That?
Yeah, true. So true.
I'm literally thinking about the books I read, and I just feel so close to everyone in the books I read. Do you guys?
Yeah, I do. Not all of them, but a lot of them. Some, like the one that I'm currently reading, I'm really struggling with, but we can talk about that.
Give it a rest then, girl.
No, because everyone's telling me to read it.
I hate that pressure from the outside world telling you to read books, and then you start reading them and you're like, why am I not liking this? Everybody that I likes it, so I've got to keep going.
Yeah, well, also it's because it made Jess cry and she's like made of stone. I'm like, I need to know what this book's about.
What's the book called? I need to write it down.
Yeah.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Oh, right. Okay. Sorry, we're having structure today.
Structure.
I'll stop. I'll shut up.
But what is actually really wild is I started talking to myself out loud in the shower earlier, going, it is so weird.
No, you didn't. Sorry.
I did actually out loud to myself. I was like, it is so weird. This is out loud. It is so weird that we now live in a world where we choose books recommended by people we don't know. So imagine circa pre-TikTok, Instagram era where Steph Mitzi went down the road and just chose a book just relative to her own brain.
Untrue.
There's always book clubs
and stuff.
Okay, book club, the newspaper.
Or library
and chat and
Certainly,
friends. Everyone still talked.
You get my point. Not to the extent or the volume that we're currently smothered
Remember
with.
in magazines, must-reads, there were pages of must-reads.
Yeah, but you're getting
so similar.
You're getting 5 per month that way.
Yeah,
You're
our whole brains are saturated now with everything.
I
but
know.
Can we just go back to the elephant in the room?
Talking in the shower.
Yeah.
It's
out loud.
I either talk or I sing.
I never do either.
Wow.
Do you know?
You'll have fun.
No, to be honest, I have started because we had this motivational speaker. His name's Robin Banks. Great name. And I chose the shower for my mantra. And it's just 2 lines. 2026 is the best year by far. This is the year I raised the bar. And it's those 2 lines. I know, it's really
Who gave you that bank? Did Robin Banks give it
Robin
to
Banks.
you? Okay.
Yeah.
To be fair, I don't think that
estate,
a man should be called Robin. I think that's a very feminine name, but that's just another.
He's South African and he's very humorous.
Was he hot? Quite cool.
He was just quite cool, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so do you say that every shower now?
Yeah. At least 5 times. 5 times.
Wow.
That's 10, but 5.
Uh-huh.
Lisa's loving it.
Yeah.
I literally don't talk. I think I'm introvert in the shower.
That's where you spend your time being introverted.
Yeah. That's the 5 minutes a day.
I think a lot. I actually think in the shower.
Yeah.
I think. I need to be a bit more vocal. I'm going to try.
Oh, yes.
You should start. See if you enjoy it.
Let's talk about, go Jess, come on. Keep this pod going. I'm not going to start with another tangent because otherwise that won't be structured.
Okay, so first of all, how we're going to approach this today is we're going to talk to what we have just finished reading, just briefly. It may be a bit of a follow-on from our first episode. Then we're going to cover what we're currently reading. And then our final acronym is TBR, to be read. What's on the list next? Okay. We will also cover off some listener questions. Okay. We got a few from the social media channels
Oh, did we?
and
Cool.
just a couple. And that's how we're going to go. So passing the mic to Sarah Mitzi. What's your middle name
Okay.
again?
Jane.
Sarah Jane. Yes,
Sarah
from
Jane.
Sarah Jane from Geraldine. 26 is the year to raise the bar. Okay. What have
Fuck,
you
you're a
just
bitch.
finished? Hey, you can play on Ruth all you like. What have you just
Yeah,
finished
no.
reading?
Okay, I've just finished reading Belle Burdon's book called Strangers.
Oh.
See my prop here.
Poignant. Okay.
Poignant, yes. So this kind of shook me, this book. I went in and it caught me right from the first couple of pages. And it's a memoir of a marriage. And it happens all around COVID, based in America. They're like a dreamy New York couple. She's come from money. They met two very intelligent people. Then there was a prenup that they signed about 4 days before the marriage. She used all her trust money to buy the apartment in New York, the house on Martha's Vineyard, and they go on to have 3 children and have this amazing life. And she gave up her work to raise their children, and he carries on building his career, working for hedge funds, making a shit ton of money. But essentially, that prenup states that any property purchased in both names is split if ever the marriage ends, and your money's your money, his money's his money that they earn in their time together. So she never obviously, and you don't go into a marriage thinking it's going to end, let's face it. So and I'm not doing a spoiler or anything, but at the start of the book, it's very, she just says, he basically up and left as soon as we were in lockdown. There was a bit that happened around how she found out about what was going on and how that all unfolded, but that's for the reader to find out. So her story is just that whole processing the information and then, actually being in lockdown, dealing with this grief, dealing with this journey and not being and being able to go and see the person or to talk it through. So it was an incredible story. She wrote it beautifully. And the other thing was that when she was studying, she did a writer's class. She had a passion for writing, and the teacher told her the one piece that she wrote, they tore it to shreds and told her she's not a good writer. So therefore she never wrote again. And this is testament to the fact that she is a bloody good writer, and to not always take notice of those criticisms, because that derailed her, she's a really successful lawyer.
Why did that person say that to her?
I don't know. Maybe they just didn't like the piece that she wrote, but she took that so cutting, it cut her that she couldn't write. So she just was like, I can't do that. But then she's written this incredible book.
Is it her only one that she's written?
As far as I'm aware, yes. Yep.
Oh, don't you want to tell her?
Well, I kind of feel like she does know now, hopefully, because she also wrote, she lives in New York. Well, she lives on Martha's Vineyard, as far as I know.
It's interesting though, like that person that read that and gave her that bad feedback, maybe they were having a really bad day,
Yeah, maybe.
It's quite crazy, eh? So it's her real story. And
very raw, yeah.
It's going to be made into a film produced by Gwyneth Paltrow, they say.
Is it?
Yep.
What's it called?
Strangers.
So you recommend?
Highly recommend. Yep.
Did you love it?
I did. And for me, I was just driving here to do this podcast, and I was thinking about, what I find really hard, being a control freak, that when I've had relationships end in the past and not by my doing, by their doing, it's almost like I'm a dog with a bone and I don't like the word no. So rejection never sits well with me. That I always want to try and fix it. Like, surely there's a way through this, surely. And I think that she was very much the same in some regards, but the fact that he just changed and you all of a sudden question, who was I married to? And I feel like a lot of people who go through separations and divorce, my sister's done this, been through that process, and she's like, who was I married to? Like, that's not the person, like people change. We know that. But so dramatically, you think, did I get the real person in the years that we were together? Because we lived and breathed each other's lives. We were so entwined to now live completely separately and not even really be on real speaking terms,
Mm. How did you get on hold of this book? Like who told you about this one? Oh, Claire. So does she send it to you? Like, do you go out and buy it, or what happens?
No, so we meet up and she gives me a supermarket bag full of clothes, full of books.
Cool.
And I give her like 3 in return.
So AI is telling me that she actually, because she's quite like old money New York family, kind of quite a prominent like person, she wrote for the New York Times in 2023 a viral essay about the separation. And then obviously after that came the book. And interestingly, one of the replies to our stories was from someone who said strangers and then a snooze emoji. So clearly just didn't like it. Like, it's so fascinating that people, and this person would have, I'm sure, been on your page with lots of other books. So it's just fascinating, eh? But it sounds
what
right
do you
up
give it
my
out of
street.
10? Yeah, would I like it?
Sounds up my alley.
Is there any sex?
No.
Not up your alley then.
No, on your knees, chat?
No.
Slip of the tongue?
Might pass. God, I'm simple.
So much depth.
I think for me, it's one of those books where I could relate to the grief journey, like I really took my hat off to her. There were moments where people said shit that you're like, oh my God. Like she's at a dinner party, sitting next to this guy who's hosting the dinner party, highfalutin, and they're about to go to court. And he's like, oh, who's his lawyer? And so she verbalizes who the lawyer is. And he goes, oh, he's real good. He'll rip you to shreds. Like,
lovely.
No one needs to hear that when you're at your most vulnerable.
It's interesting you speaking about that, because I relate to the grief part in the fact that some people say such random things, like, or you can tell who doesn't really understand you. So like, I often will get a comment like, oh, but isn't he much better now, about Dan? Like that comment, like, fair, but I can see that they're not really on my wavelength with what I'm talking about.
No. But I mean, yeah, sure he is, but it's still not the same of the life you had. Do you know what I mean? Like,
and there's so much water under the bridge that is other factor that is just a huge part of it. But in some people's eyes, they're just like, oh, but he's survived, right? He's still here.
It's a tricky question to answer.
It's not very validating either. Like, that's the thing, is that we need to validate people's feelings. And it took me on a journey. The book.
I like that. See, that person that maybe thought that was a bit snoozy possibly hasn't gone through the journey that, obviously we're all different and gone through different journeys, but you took bits that you related to, which kept you connected.
And I do feel like I can, I think it's just the way she wrote. For me, the way she wrote, I felt like I was on her journey with her. And she did a very good job of not so much alienating him, but just basically told us what he said, like he literally left and said, you can have everything. I don't want the custody of the children. So her kids are going to read that book and know that their dad didn't want them.
How are they now? Do you know? Does it say anything?
Not so much. I mean, she goes through and that, the kids have gone to university. The youngest is just finishing high school. And they still haven't had a night over at their dad's house, like this is a few years down the track. And they all had their different coping mechanisms, and she sort of touches on that. The middle child took to the cooking skill, to cooking role and making sure mum was nourished. And, she was putting on weight because she'd lost so much weight with the stress of the whole separation. And her depression was quite strong. the boy who's the oldest, because it was in lockdown, so they thought it was only going to be a week or two. So he was at a friend's house for that period of time when Dad left. And
Crazy.
so he was not really witness to it, I guess. He just chose to, I guess,
Disassociate.
Disassociate from it.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I would like to read that.
I think
Yeah.
I would like to read that too.
Okay, Lise, do you want to go?
Yeah.
What have you
Let's go,
finished?
Let's
You
tell us.
know, guys, I was thinking about this last night and this morning. So I go to bed really excited to read my book, and lately I've just been sticking to the same author as like last time we spoke, which is so really, really not very clever, not very bright on my.
But we've talked about this. This is not a bright intelligence test. It's
No.
reading is reading, and it's therapy. So,
But I do wonder, I'm a bit conflicted because I really enjoy this writer and I really enjoy these books. But I enjoy, there's always a good few storylines going on. So it's not just like Mills and Boonsy. It's definitely like topical to this day and age. It's modern, it's relatable chat, but it's also very sexy and quite
raunchy.
passionate. Yeah. And I don't know if it's actually good for me actually with the life I live at the moment. So I am really conflicted. I was wondering if you could help me through that, to be fair. So I know this is about but I really get invested in the characters and I always get roped into reading the next book because what happens to me is like possibly with my personality, I finish the book and then that night if I have to start a new book that I'm not sure I'm gonna like it's gonna really get me. I don't feel as excited about going to bed that night. So by reading the same author, I just know I'm always gonna like it. So I'm really bad. Like I just go on to the next book.
I liken it to going to McDonald's and Dorian faffs about trying these new burgers. You never stray from a McChicken with extra mayo.
No,
you know?
Yeah.
absolutely.
And if you do, it's a bit disappointing. And so I also think like, you know how you guys watch, well, Jess in particular, like you're watching that show
Same
that
thing.
you've loved. Yeah, you watch it because you know it gets you. Whereas I'm a bit basic at the moment. Like before, when I sort of started reading regularly, it was kind of like a lot of Colleen Hoover because I knew I'd get into it, it would hook me and I'd read it. And then I kind of branched away and got into Seven Sisters and did lots of
Lucinda Riley.
Hannah, Lucinda Riley, a
Yeah.
lot of and then I've read a lot of other books that me and you, Sarah, have the housemaid. What's it? Sally
Yeah,
Hepworth. Lots of all those.
Frida McFadden.
Yeah, heaps of those. But I just seem to be lately I'm on this train and I
So
can't
do they
seem to get
intertwine?
off.
So do they? Does one story finish and then it dovetails into the next one? Is it like you're watching episodes of a program? Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Like so
Yeah.
so I'm on to the third book of these three guys now. So
Yeah.
I remember I was reading the four brothers or each book
Yes.
of the brothers. So she just has this way of like getting you hooked onto the next character before you finish that first book and then you just go on to read about because you want to know about the next boy, the best mate in the middle, the lawyer, you know?
So the author is TL Swann, and are you saying you've read the 5 of the Mile High Club and
I've
now
read
you're
all
on to
those.
something else that's still about these boys?
Well, it's
Different
different
boys.
boys, but like I
okay.
kind of knew about the first one in this next series.
Right.
I had heard about. He was like a
Okay, so
distant
he was
friend.
got you. That's very clever. Yeah.
It is clever. So at
It's
the
like
moment,
you've
so
hit the
I've done.
subscribe button. You've subscribed.
Yeah.
So I've done Mr. Masters, and then that's this Mr. series book 1. And then I've done Mr. Spencer. So there's 3 best mates. And they're such good friends too. Like they really stick up for each other. And you just get so invested in them. And then at the moment I'm reading the third one, which is Mr. Garcia, which I'm absolutely loving and I'm nearly finished. I'll finish it tonight. And then what will happen is I'll want to keep reading tonight because I've only got like maybe 20 minutes left. And then I won't want to start like, strangers because I know I'm not in the zone to like get.
Oh yeah, no.
So I just go straight onto the next one because there will be another one like that I'll have not by the time I finish there's someone in there that I've learned a little bit about.
Yeah.
There'll be a book about that one. It's really crazy. just on that note, I went to school camp last week, and one of the guys there is a cop, and he was on camp, and he said, "Oh, it's really funny because one of my colleagues is writing a book, and he has done a lot of research for like a year trying to work out what kind of genre is the best book to write, and it's smut." So
Is
he
that
is
right?
writing a book, a smut book, but he's actually saying that his name is he's writing as like a female because apparently the female get more of
Yeah.
the buy-in as well. So that's interesting, eh? It was
Fascinating.
Oh my
funny.
gosh. I wonder how many authors do that too, hey, like go by obviously a pseudonym, but complete other sex because it's going to sell more books.
I'd,
Yeah, I
I'd
know.
say it
I
would
was
happen
gonna
quite a bit.
Is
just
TL
on that
Swann a
note.
bloke?
Nah, I see a picture of it. Just on that note, I was going to say that word pseudo, but I keep thinking of pseudo or something, and I couldn't quite understand if it was, so I didn't say that.
Oh my God, I love you. Pseudo.
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 It's the letters. It is actually pseudo,
PSY.
isn't it?
Yeah.
What is it? Pseudo, eh?
Pseudo.
Pseudo.
Like
Yeah.
psychologist. It's not psychologist.
Mhm.
Depends on what school you
Okay,
went
so
to.
is that my book sum up then? Well,
Yeah,
you haven't
great.
helped me. I've got not let
Oh,
you
Oh, we
not
well,
haven't
let
I
you
done
just
the
talk.
think
therapy
that
part.
I
Okay.
think that it's getting you reading. It's not detrimental, is it?
It's not making me go off and have,
No. So then good.
affairs.
Good. No,
Okay. Just
I
plugging in
think
my laptop, guys. Sorry.
is
There
Dan
you
lying
go.
next to you when you're reading these raunchy books?
Do you know, really good question because the girlfriend at school drop asked me the same thing this morning. Um, yeah, he is, and I'm always like, yeah.
He knows what you're reading?
He sleeps at like 7. It's actually really depressing at the minute. Like he knows what not really. I mean, he knows what I'm reading. He thinks I'm basically reading porn, and I'm like, oh well.
He doesn't hear a bzzz.
Potentially.
Uh, um, I find that quite difficult to be fair.
You have to go to have
It
a cold
depends on my
shower.
cycle where I am as well. Like
Fair call.
it is. That's what I'm thinking. I wish that it would encourage me to just
Mm.
branch out and be really sexy in the bedroom, but possibly it doesn't happen. So maybe I need to just, I don't know. You're not
Well,
helping, girls. You're
yeah.
not
I think that
helping.
maybe you just need to take some inspo.
Mm.
I can't. It's a hard life, isn't it?
It is a hard life.
I have just finished a TV
Oh,
series
here we go.
that I do see so many reels about now, the theme being I'm a 42-year-old mother who cannot stop thinking about Garrett Graham. Like you are affected by these books in exactly the same way I'm affected by the television. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. I think it's
Yeah,
really
but
normal.
is it? I am talking to more and more women my age feeling the same as I feel.
What's also
Mm.
what I also think is happening, and this is the theme with Off Campus, the TV show as well, is that these men are written by women. So much like
And we're
so the
getting
damaging
warped into
part.
thinking that there's men out there that will give us everything we
So,
want.
well, I'm sure there are some, but the part of that to me that is a bit damaging is like much like porn not being a real life portrayal of sex, these shows are potentially not super realistic to some degree when these men are
Oh,
written by women. So,
absolutely. It's like growing up as a little girl, always thinking you're going to be a princess because there's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. There's, Sleeping Beauty. And you always think that Rapunzel, we all wanted nice long hair like Rapunzel. Now you just want hot, steamy sex all the time. And
I do like how women are, yeah, there is a real shift in women being more just like, fuck off, this is the way we are now. Like, whereas back to the era of the 50s, 60s, 70s, whatever, definitely is different, eh? Definitely.
oh, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
Jess,
definitely different.
sorry, you've actually just opened my eyes to the fact that the characters that I'm thinking are perfect men are written by a woman.
women.
I've never thought about it like that.
Yeah.
And that's your therapy.
Like Mr. Garcia is actually she's made him, he is so, I want him so bad. Like, he is everything I want in a man.
Yeah, he is not real.
I didn't know.
I mean, some women listening might be married to someone similar, but I'd hazard a guess and say not many.
I, you know, I honestly didn't think about it like that. That's great. You've
Good,
saved
you're
my marriage.
welcome. Woo!
$450 per session.
Okay, I'll tell you what was the question. What I've just finished.
What are you reading?
So,
Yeah.
well, like we're talking about what we
Finished.
finished, and
Yes.
interestingly, that can carry us through to what we are currently reading because I have just finished Yesteryear, which is what Sarah mentioned she's reading and struggling to get through now. So, Yesteryear by Caro Claire Burke, and I did cry at the end, and I'm wondering,
Have you finished it?
along like a few weeks
Oh,
ago.
so you said I am reading Yesteryear.
No, she's finished.
I've just finished.
Okay.
I'm
Yesteryear.
reading now.
Sarah's reading it now, and Sarah's
Yep.
sort of struggling, but
Yep.
influenced by people like me telling her to read it. It is basically she's a trad wife, Instagram influencer, right? She's got like millions of followers. She lives this, in quote marks, perfect life. She's the perfect, beautiful wife and mother, with like multiple children, lives on a ranch called Yesteryear. I won't spoil it, but basically like, gives off the vibe of absolutely perfection across all facets of life. It's not that's not the actual
There's a lot
case.
of her internal dialogue going on, isn't there? Yeah.
And then there's just this big kind of twist in the book, and that's where Sarah needs to push through to really, I think.
Did you find it hard to get in?
So there was a lot of biblical references, a lot of him, the power of him, blah, blah, blah. It got like, but I do this in books. I skip through a lot of that. I'm just like, this is too wordy, too wordy, too wordy.
Well,
Yeah. Not for, I do that in books. But also because, sometimes things are repetitive. You're like, okay,
Yeah.
I get that this is going on. It's fine. She's having her moment where she's talking about the reference to God, blah, blah, blah. So I just skipped a lot. And then I did read some review. It just leaves you feeling like, whoa, that is so unhinged and so cooked. But equally like this is just also a reality kind of in the real world now that we live in. So it's it leaves you feeling like bothered. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, everyone because when I talked about it at the end of the workout on Wednesday, I think, and everyone that's read it said stick with it because one said, I read it last year and I still think about the book. I'm like, wow, okay. So, and I guess in reference to what Jess said, that's probably been one of my struggles around all the religious referencing because I fully respect everyone's beliefs. But when, she gets pregnant and she's like, oh, my creator. And I'm like, no, you had sex and you're now pregnant. Your God didn't really have anything to do with that in my head because that's my logic. But it's quite heavy. And I think that's probably what I've struggled with as well through the book because it's not a book that I would pick up and read. It's only because everyone's saying stick with it, stick with it.
Equally though,
and I love a good twist.
And I did get to the end and it's not like I was like, oh my God, I love that. I just was just like, what the fuck was that? So sorry.
Yeah.
And that's
where I haven't got much to go. I'm hoping that the weekend I'll be finished and I'm just waiting for the twist.
Someone did, the same person who wrote Strangers really also wrote Yesteryear, WTF. So it's just that kind of book, whether you finish it and you're like, that was good, or you really like me, I was just like, that was cooked. Yeah.
Maybe that's one that you might want to try, Lise. You might.
No.
There's not much smart in
that not
either.
Really. I'm not really, sorry, I shouldn't say no like that. So I just feel like I really enjoy, I only read at night and I really, after my day, I find my evenings quite difficult, actually the most difficult time of my day because Dan goes to bed early and then I'm left with the four. And also I love my four kids and I'm lucky that I've been managed to have four children and I am they are my world, but navigating bedtimes and quiet in the house because Tay goes to bed first and I'm just constantly like
managing.
quiet, boys, Tay's in bed, and scratching everyone's backs and heads and all the things. And then by the time I go to bed, I'm so excited to get into that kind of book. But then in saying that, I loved going to bed reading The Seven Sisters and Lucinda Riley. So I do think I need to find something. So I downloaded Broken Country. Is that one?
Oh.
And I haven't. The Kindle didn't fully download that night. Like it had a bit of a fault on my Kindle, but I've got it. So should I go back to that one, do you think?
Yeah, you'll like that. There's a bit of intense relations there too.
I think I'll go to that.
Yeah. So Sarah's currently reading Yesteryear, and you've got just like a third to go or something, or not even a quarter.
Yeah,
Cool.
maybe a quarter. Yeah.
Okay.
Well done, you girls, on pushing through these books. I sort of think it's good for your brains to do things. It's a bit like doing a workout you don't really want to do or like. Like I'm being a bit slack, really.
Well, you say that, and my next thing was what I'm currently reading. It's been sat on my bookshelf for like 3 weeks, untouched, and I don't know that I will push through it.
Names.
What is it?
The Names by Frances Knapp. A
Oh
lot of
God, I
listeners
really
will
loved
have
it.
read it. Yeah. And Lise, there's no chance you'd want to deal with it at all.
So Hobbs, it's so random. So what page are you up to?
Oh, I'd be nearly halfway.
Oh, and you still don't like it?
So let me explain this to you, Lisa. First of all, it's about a mother who's in an abusive relationship. I will point out I've read quite a few abusive themes back to back. Okay. So the woman, is it, where they're set in Alaska, the mother is,
It's The Great Alone.
The Great Alone, sorry. The Great Alone, and then Yesteryear.
A wee bit of Yesteryear.
Yeah, exactly. So I was off the back of like a string of them, right? First of all, though, she's going to go and name her baby, and the family tradition is to name the boy Gordon, which is the father's name, the abusive father's, right? The kid. So basically the story then pans out. It follows this boy Gordon. If he were to be named a different name, Bear, and another name, Julian. So there's Gordon, Bear, Julian. They're the same boy. So you first of all have to adjust every chapter, like, where am I, who is this kid, and what's happened? And it goes about 7 years each time.
That's lost me already.
God.
So I understand that it is definitely beautiful. There's some really lovely tone to it. But I'm like, nah, I get it. The power of a name. Like, Bear.
Jess, you would love the one I'm just reading. Like, she meets him. She first sees this guy like in the coffee shop. She makes a shit coffee. He keeps coming back because he just likes to see her, and she just makes shit
relate
coffee.
to this. Does he give feedback on the coffee?
No, you would just like the books I read, I reckon.
Of course I will. And I just like persist through these ones. But obviously,
is that because you're trying to be clever?
Probably, yeah. I am. You've cracked the code. But Hobbsy, am I wrong? Like the power of a name? Anything else that I need to learn from that book? Can I just shut it down?
Oh God, spoiler. Yeah, okay, I guess so. Yeah. Power of a name. But I liked the fluffiness. I liked that.
What would your 3 names be?
No, see, this is the thing, because there's a reason for each of the names. Gordon came from Dad.
Yeah, and came from the sister.
On the walk to the registry office, Mum says to the daughter, if you got to name him, what would you name him? And she says, Bear, because he's cute and cuddly.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh. And I think what I also took from it is, Mum's life as Gordon as the child.
I
Mum's life as
know.
Julian. Yeah. And so I guess I invested heavily in the story, whereas you're a bit like,
I get it.
Let's
move on.
Just read the last 3 chapters and find out what happened to them.
Maybe I should. Yeah, that's not a bad shout. Nah, you know me. I always actually see a book out. I don't often just say see you later.
Do you though?
Only twice
in the mirror.
It turns out she skips half the books as well.
Yeah, I do.
Hence it takes her 2 days to read a book. Yeah, no shit. You only read half of it.
Tricks of the trade. Lisa, you're currently reading the TL Swann, so we've covered that, haven't we?
Mr. Garcia.
Okay, Mr. Garcia. So what's on the list next?
I said Broken Country, but tonight it might just flick round to the next TL Swanee. I'll let you know.
We're hanging on the cliff for this one.
Well, I have a recommendation.
Go.
Well, Off Campus is a smutty TV show that I've just finished, but it's been adapted from a ton of books.
A book?
Many books. I will tell
Are you
you.
excited?
Well, here's my other issue. Okay, you ready?
Because you've watched it.
No, apparently, if you have watched it, still very worth reading the books. The book series is by Al Kennedy. The Deal, The Mistake, The Score, The Goal, The Legacy. It's
It
hockey.
sounds like all my TL Swans. I think I've
absolutely.
read them.
Do you
Yeah.
reckon you've read them?
Let me have a look at this.
They're in Kmart, those ones.
Okay, so this is my issue though.
What's
It's
that?
like
What's the author?
Al
Al
Kennedy.
Kennedy.
Elle Kennedy. My issue being that I like to buy a
I
book.
have read them.
Wow, so you need to watch off
I've read The
canvas.
Deal.
You need to watch
I've read.
So my issue is I'm not going to buy a book of that genre quality. I don't want to own the actual book. So I need a Kindle, don't I? Do you know what I mean? I don't want that.
It's your birthday soon.
Yeah, Kindle, eh?
I think, yeah, I don't want books. They just make dust. I've got enough dust. I like Kindle. That's it. And I just, this morning I walked.
They make dust.
This morning I walked into let's just talk about my 9-year-old, what he's reading. He can't read. This morning I walked in and he was reading. He wakes up and he gets his Kindle and reads. It's just actually one of my highlights of my day, walking in and seeing him reading his Kindle. And he's reading Percy Jackson and it's quite scary. And so he hasn't been reading at night because he actually had a nightmare the other night. So I said, are you through the scary bit? He said, yep, battle's over. So tonight he'll be able to read again.
Cute.
That's so cute.
So that's cool. If you've got some kids that are thinking Carlos had recommended that to him, Percy Jackson. So he's loving that series.
Do you know, I showed, because Stan will come and sometimes read next to me just to be near me, and I think that's cute. And I showed him the photo of Tana and he was like, "Has he got an iPad?" I said, no, mate, it's a Kindle. And he goes, "Oh, I think I should get one of those." Because for Stanley, it's like a screen though, And I'm like, mate, once you start reading chapter books, then we'll consider it.
Yeah.
But also, it's been a massive encourager of his reading. Because he doesn't lose how they might have a book and then they won't know where it is, where he just keeps his Kindle up above his bed. And it's obviously just a low light, it's not a device. He can't do anything else on it. But
No.
it's not allowed to go anywhere. It stays there unless me and him are going to one of his brother's trainings. He might bring it. I might bring it in my bag, so we both read in the car. But pretty much, it's just his routine is only at night too. He doesn't really read during the day, but before bed, and it just stays there. And it's honestly encouraged his reading so much. It's the best thing I could have ever done for him. So it might work for Stan too, because Stan does quite enjoy a book. And honestly, I think I've really nailed the last two kids in the fact that they love to read at night. It's a lovely feeling for me, because Rico would never read, but Louis having to read for school, and he just finished The Hobbit, and I'm stoked that he's actually enjoyed it, which is the first probably book he's actually enjoyed.
Yeah. Nick just reads to Stanley every night. They're doing the Narnia series.
Nick's so good like that.
He loves
what
it.
A great dad doing that.
He loves that. Yeah. So I'm very hesitant to, I guess,
take that away in a way.
Yeah.
Don't do that. If Nick's happy to do that, that is way more valuable, I reckon.
Yeah.
So keep that. That's lovely. What a delicious nighttime routine.
Yeah.
Yeah, although the Kindle would get him reading on his own more, which is also another learning thing, right?
Yes,
It's you could introduce it in the Kindle as in the morning with you with the coffee, and then
when he wakes up in the morning.
Yeah.
I
When you're doing your workouts.
Tay actually used his own money to buy that, and I thought, oh God, this could either be a waste, but he has used it every single day, and he loves it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
The novelty of the screen and the everything like that is cool too
I
for
just
them.
think he really feels like it's his
as
well, it's his special kind of a comfort to him, and I feel like that about mine, really.
Yeah. So what I'm going to move on to my next book, I'm trying to decide. So I've thought about the cute little series that I was reading, and it was the strawberry something anyway. So this is the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore. And it's the Laurie Gilmore series, and so that's they're really easy reads. Or
what are they about? Are they about a shop?
Kind of just real, not as raunchy as I guess TL Swann or TL Swann or whatever her name is, but
Uh-huh.
just very light. There's a wee village and there's a map of the village at the start of the book, and it talks. So there's Kira's Christmas tree farm, there's Logan's farm, there's Hazel's house, there's so it talks. There's the village has little shops, and I guess it's the story about who's in that shop and their
The Pumpkin
their
Spice
life.
Cafe, the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore, the Christmas
That was
Tree
it.
Farm, the Strawberry Patch Pancake House. Okay, yeah, because they look
Cute
very
names.
cute in the covers. They really caught
Cutesy.
my eye, the
Yeah.
covers.
And that was me being the consumer. I was like, they need to be on my bookcase collecting
Oh,
dust.
yeah, agree. So hard.
Yeah, well, that's quite
Yeah.
pretty. Lovely.
Yeah.
I feel like really, really cool.
And I think I just want something light. But then,
And you know, sorry, can we
Yeah.
just go back to the bookshelf? You've got a nice, lovely home for the bookshelf. Like I think I've got too much shit in mine.
says the minimalist. You are.
Got
But this
lots
one
of
here,
people
so
in there.
this book came from Steph Mitzi to Nick, and Nick's just read it, and it's called A Death in the Family, Free-Range Antics and Family Adversity, A Kiwi Boyhood in the 50s and 60s.
Is that
So
cool?
it's set in New Brighton.
Oh, that's so cool. Who's it by?
Pete Majendie.
Did he like it?
Loved it. Honestly, like I was reading Yesteryear, really struggling, and he's in fits of laughter next to me. And I'm like,
you guys are so cute.
great, but it's really annoying.
I love this for you guys. Like, how cool.
That's really cool.
And that reads, how attractive.
Mum was worried. Mum was hesitant to give it to him. She was like, I just hope he laughs the way I did.
Oh, that was
that's
for his
really
birthday,
great.
was it?
Nah.
Hilarious. But he read me, you've got to listen to this paragraph. So he'd read me a paragraph and I'm like, oh my God, okay, that is quite funny.
Do I need to read it?
So it maybe, because there's a bit in here. And I said, do you teach your mum just the one-liners? And he's like, yeah. So the mum in the book, told her son to stop putting his hands in his pockets because you'll get rounded shoulders. And so she stitched up one of his pockets because she was like, oh, I'm just going to stitch it up. Whereas actually she thought that his hands were always in his pockets because he's playing with his penis. And that's what she was worried about. And anyway, so they're at the dinner table one night and that obviously comes up in conversation. That was her concern. And he goes, well, no. And then the next day he says, what did he say? Something like, my mate John, he called his turtleneck Trev. So it's just the jokes that it's quite funny, but it goes like toilet humor and then it's back to, reality.
Nick has a real good skill of laughing out loud though. Like I think I won't read it because I don't think I won't laugh out loud and then I'll feel like
your
I'm
mum
a failure.
laughed and cried. And there's sadness and then there's absolute,
So you're
belly
tossing
laughter.
up a deaf, DEAF, by the way, a deaf in the family or cinnamon
Oh,
bun.
not death.
No,
No,
a deaf.
deaf.
Can't hear.
I wrote death.
No. And
there's
so you're
that
tossing
too.
up those two, are you?
Mm.
Okay. Well, my decision is whether to pursue and
With the
continue
names.
with the names. But my mum also lent me something that does sound quite interesting, which is called Wifedom. Wifedom, Mrs. Orwell's Invisible Life by Anna Funder. And I can't say I know much about it, but I'm pretty sure that it's a true story about, meanwhile, I'm on Google trying to figure this out, about a woman, I think, who does all this stuff for her husband, George, and he takes all the credit. I don't know if it's in a professional sense. Basically, though, she's invisible. He gets all the credit for all this work, I think. Was
it part of her book club or did she just read it?
I don't know, actually. Yeah. Oh, did she write the book?
So is it like a memoir?
Sorry, this is a terrible chat, isn't it? This book is a genre-bending blend of biography, memoir, and feminist literary criticism.
Oh, yeah.
Which talks about the first wife of George Orwell, I'm sorry,
Excuse
guys.
me.
I'm fucking it up. I don't
Okay.
know. Yeah. Just anyway.
That
That's what I'm
sounds
reading.
like quite a good read, though. Like in all seriousness, that
Yeah.
it does.
Okay,
Because I
good.
like it when it's written. I quite often like when it's written from their perspective. Like it's a true story when
Yeah.
it's of interest.
Yeah. Otherwise, that's it. I mean, what can I tell you
One of
else?
the questions was like, we've got on the Instagram was,
Oh,
what's
yeah.
your favorite book of all time?
Yes, that's where we're
Well, that
going
was
now.
quite, I was trying to like, oh, are we?
Yeah, we're going to the questions.
Sick.
Although, did we get that question? I don't see it, but okay.
I saw
You're
it on Facebook.
Oh, I never see those.
There
Okay.
was quite a few on there.
Oh, can you read
I'll
us
have a
some
look
other
at
ones if
those.
we've got more? But what is
Yeah,
your
but we don't
favorite
have
book of
much
all
time.
time?
Hobbs is,
Yeah. We'll quickly finish off with that, eh? Little sparkle spreader.
Um. Oh, skip me. Go to someone else. What's my
I
favorite
was
book of all
thinking about
time?
this. Like, I think that books, um, for me, depending on, like, I have lots of, I think, let's just start again. I
Oh.
think the book that I think that I really was a book that I was like, oh my God, that was so. I mean, I loved the Seven Sisters series, but I think the Where the Crawdads Sing was one of my top books
Yep.
of all time. But I can't really remember it. But I remember
The ending.
absolutely loving it. Yeah, that
Yeah.
ending was shit, wasn't it? Now that I'm
Oh no,
thinking about
I
it,
quite liked it. No, I quite
I
liked
just
it. Did
remember
you
it
not
was
like it?
quite hard to get. Well, it was a bit, oh, really? Like that kind of feeling. I remember it
Mm.
was kind of hard for me to get in. Like why I think it was one of my best books of all time was because it was very deep and moving, and the actual writing created a lot of picture, the picture in my
Yes.
head throughout the whole novel. It was so, I mean, it took me a while to get in, maybe 100 pages, but then once I was in, it was
You
really,
could visualize everything, eh?
yeah, it was quite incredible. Um, I think that's probably one of my favorite books of all time.
Cool.
You, Hobbsy, have you got one?
Oh, do you know what? I still don't really.
You've read so many, it's hard to probably think.
Mm,
Um, I would say like one that just like always springs to mind that I even read 2 or 3 times is Eleanor Oliphant is completely
oh yeah.
fine. I couldn't tell you what
Yeah.
it's about.
Yeah. She's got Asperger's. Yeah.
So
So
I tried
yeah.
to read that book, I remember, and just not getting into it. It's so weird,
Yeah,
eh?
yeah. Another one that I really liked not that long ago, Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. It's
Never read it.
about like a really cool cover. It was about these two quite socially awkward from memory people that worked in gaming and like designed games.
Mm.
That sounds weird. Eh? The other question, if you'd rather or if you'd prefer to answer that we haven't covered, is which fictional character do you live vicarious and which fictional character did you live vicariously through? Which I would just hazard a guess, Lisa, and say one of the females in one of your books, or
I'm always in my TL Swann. I'm that character in all
yeah,
different ways. I'm the
yeah,
man. I'm the woman. I'm everything.
yeah, full circle,
I
giver and a receiver.
I tend to enjoy a book when I can put myself pretend to be that person. I
Yeah,
think is that
yes.
I
So
don't know.
you've read off campus all of them, do you think, or could you go
No, I
back?
haven't read all of them. I
Okay.
don't know if I have.
You could go back and
I have to
revisit
look at
some
my
of them.
Kindle. I've read so many books like that
Yeah,
that I get a bit confused about. Like I forget.
yeah,
It's like movies. Like I don't know. I'm
yeah.
so thick.
Nah, it's just the
No,
retention. It's
you're
very hard.
not. No, you're
I'm
not.
very. I do have a definite load of issues.
We all do.
We all do. I was going
Louis
to say.
told me yesterday, oh, Mum, it's because your brain's the size of a pea.
I love you, son.
Oh yeah, great.
It
I
was
made
kind of cute.
you.
I just thought, oh, you actually know. That's cool. You know me.
Does he just mean because your head's small? Because it's not
No,
your
he was
brain.
talking to me about evolution and about the egg theory, about reincarnation and all this stuff. And I said, you've lost me. I do not understand what you're trying to tell me. Like you orbit you anyway. And then that's when he said, yeah, but that's because you've got a pea-sized brain or something. And I just laughed. It was funny.
Mm.
No
Sounds,
offense taken. Fine.
sounds offensive. You do not
I was
have a
going to say.
pea-sized brain. You've got a lot that goes on in your brain.
Yeah.
Not just with the load that you carry, but the type of brain you have too. It's not
I
an it's
actually,
not an unclever brain.
I actually am very quite clever, and I know that you don't need to tell me. I'm clever in different ways, but with retention and that kind of thing, I'm not very clever with.
I'm not very good at retention either, to be honest. And like I've just sat here thinking about the first question, do you know? Like I can't even remember the second question that you asked.
I remember I did love The Great Alone, and that's a recent
Yeah.
one. Did you like The Seven Sisters, Sarah?
Yeah, I did, but I got bored of them after a while because you know how after the first or second book, you know all the sisters. So you've heard it from that sister's perspective of how they all are. So I'm kind of like, when you get to Tiggy, or I'm like, oh, babe, you're kind of boring me now. Like,
No, see, this is where we're different in our brains. I liked that repetitive because then I really understood it.
mm.
Funny, eh?
So like because I've read, you know, the likes of Dave Grohl's book, Storyteller, loved it. Also listened to that. So he was the narrator and his voice is just captivating, kind of up there with Matthew McConaughey for me, as far as, you know, their voice just brings you into their story. Then read like Tony Street's book, devoured that, loved it. So those books that are real, that have told you a story about their life, those three were kind of up there for me. And then as far as a novel goes, I do like a series, you know, so I do quite like the Orphan X series, where he's kind of like MacGyver and you're like, how is he going to get out of this? You know, he's in like a steel bolt hole with no windows, no way out, but chews a piece of chewing gum, makes a bomb, and away he goes.
Of course he does.
Have you guys read The Bronze Horseman?
Yes.
Do you rate that?
I read it with my ears. Yes, I did rate it because that was a series as well, wasn't it? The
I don't think so.
Yeah, no, it is. The something across the bridge as well.
A number of people have told me that that's their favourite book of all
Yeah,
time.
Lou, I reckon one of my best mates' his favourite book of all time is that.
Tatiana, isn't it? Is it Alexander and Tatiana?
I think so. Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
So we've had two questions saying favourite books of all time.
Oh, yeah.
One that was actually written, that question was by the girl that gives you books, Claire. So interesting.
Oh, yes. Great.
Okay.
Any other questions that you'd like us to answer?
No, I think we're all good.
What's your favourite book of all time, Jess?
Oh, I'm just thinking the ones that came up to me was Eleanor Oliphant,
right,
and then like Tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, I mean, look, sometimes a book is circumstantial. It might be 50 Shades of Grey.
I think you'll enjoy Strange Sally Diamond.
Yeah, I will get onto that. Yes. Yeah. Okay, we'll go. But I just wanted to point out, based on feedback from the first podcast, which went down a real treat, some people really felt very shortchanged that they could not also communicate with us right at this moment. Do you know what I mean? So I'd just like to put a strict caveat or make note that we will put this podcast out and we will open up for discussion through the social media platforms, okay? Somehow, one way or another. So just look out for that. If you feel like chatting back and forth.
In regards to that, I was thinking when I was reading about how I read TL Swann over and over, there are things that do annoy me. So people might be thinking, oh, but don't you get sick of the word pre-ejaculate? Yes, I do.
Really? That word comes up
my
that
sex. Like, just say pussy.
What? She says my sex is something instead of my vagina.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so strange.
Yeah, pre-ejaculate.
What, like, who's pre-ejaculating?
Oh, on the thick shaft, there's pre-ejaculate.
Oh, gosh, can we stop now?
Just not, and so there's pre-ejaculate rather than like a little bit of cum.
And they spell the word cum C-O-M-E. I thought it was C-U-M.
It is.
Yeah, interesting.
So she's got typos in her book. Like, Hobbsy, am I wrong? Is it C-U-M?
Keep it simple, stupid.
I don't think
Simon.
it's C-U-M.
It's not C-O-M-E.
Why is it not C-O-M-E?
Surely to goodness. Sorry, be right back, caller. I've got to chat GPT it.
I think that's slang. I think C-U-M is slang.
Okay, both exist. Not a general verb, C-U-M. Mainly used as slang. Of course you're right.
She's
writing normal English. Use C-O-M-E. Okay. Wow, Lisa.
Quite classy. A bit classier, I think. Actually using the proper C-O-M-E.
Right.
Anyway, so yeah, I was just making note there that someone might be listening to this going, don't you get sick of... And I do sort of, but I turn a blind eye to that.
Yeah.
Skip it.
Yeah, skip it. Just don't read that part.
Sometimes I do skip the
The
like
fluff.
the sexy scenes. Sometimes I do. I'm not really, or if I'm like, not really in the mood, and that's fine because that's just the same repetitive bullshit, isn't it?
Yes.
Maybe I need to move on from TL Swann.
Do you know what? I'm going to set you a challenge. At least read one other between now and the next recording.
Okay, promise.
Broken Country
Promise.
at least. Broken Country.
I'll start
Broken
Broken
Country.
Country.
Yeah, it's an easy one. Go.
Okay.
Okay. Talk to you next time.
Bye.
Love you,
babes.
bye.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.